I think the Dragons with a couple of big ins this afternoon.
So away we go, game 2. And a reminder also, later on at Amy Park, on Whitewater Sports from 5. The Storm and the Raiders. Good driving defence to open this match.
Unsurprising to see Elsie Albert down low, being the real driver of that tackle.
So, Brigginshaw, those that haven't maybe watched a lot of it, they will all know Ali's name. That's a good, strong charging run by Brianna Clark to get this set of 6 going forward. Felicia Harden, the number 13. So here is Brigginshaw, kicking from just inside the 40 on 4. And down the throat there of Tonegata.
One of the big ins that I spoke about for the Dragons this week is Holly Wheeler was named and able to take her position on the field. She does plenty of work for the Dragons through the middle, and she's starting, and Talia Fuimaono will be starting in that lock position. So they've gone for a really mobile pack, the Dragons.
They have, so the Dragons, they opened with 2 wins, beating the Titans and the Eels. Here's Elsie Albert. We saw some strong middle forwards in the last game. Well, you just keep an eye on Elsie Albert. There's a player down in back play. Let's stay with this as Tonegata goes into the line.
I think it's Lavinia Gould.
It is. So Zali Hopkins with the kick, and straddling the goal line there was Hayley Maddock, and comes back to the 24A restart. Alana, down to you.
Conditions still look pretty good down here, guys. The rain is said to come, but nothing just yet. So the breeze has also backed off a little bit. It was at the back of the Dragons, but not too much sweeping around. But I just wanted to comment on the Dragons and the changes that they've made. Rue already touched on it. Talia Fuimaono, who we've recently seen in that 5'8" position, she's moved into the lock, and Zali Hopkins gets her debut in the number 6. So I just think it really shows how Jamie Soward, their coach, has changed his mindset. He's obviously looking, and he spoke in the presser after last game, that they need some more attacking creativity. And if it's off the back of a run like that Elsie Albert we just saw on screen, then they'll be able to spark up a fair bit. But yeah, plenty of attacking weapons out there today for the Dragons.
So Lavinia Gould is leaving the field.
Not good signs,
I wouldn't
Chris.
mind seeing that again if we can, that replay. She...
Well, she looked like she went in to make that tackle on Elsie Albert, and the knee or lower leg has given way without any contact.
Well, you know what that often spells 9 times out of 10, and I hate to.
Well, we hope it's not serious. Hopefully that she can be back sooner rather than later. But
so often you see with ACL injuries, innocuous is probably the word to use, and the leg just sort of gives way. But fingers crossed for Lavinia Gould.
Yeah, well, she did sort of grab that calf and lower leg, so fingers crossed it could just be a calf injury. But I'm sure Emma Lawrence will be all over that one for us.
That she will. The Broncos lost their first 2 matches to the Newcastle and the Roosters. Brigginshaw again gets to the kick, sits up for Tonegata. And they had a big win, their first of the season last weekend over the Titans. 22 points to 4. Solid tackle there. You can hear that through the effects mic, and reeling out is in pain. I think she's hurt herself there.
It's Chapman.
Jamie's in a bit of pain, so we'll keep a watch on her as well. Yeah, she's in a lot of discomfort. Dragons don't care. They want to get on with things.
She scored 3 tries for them last week, the Bronx. Jamie Chapman, so hopefully she can take her position.
Would stay with the play here. Hopkins then, kick in, giving chase is Berry, and the Broncos have possession through Julia Robinson. Up off their defensive line very quickly, the Dragons. Did I read she became the 3rd player, I think, the 3rd Broncos player, Chapman Jamie, to score a hat-trick last weekend?
Yes.
Are we reading the same notes?
We certainly are, and big run there by Julia Robinson. She's a real powerhouse, and Chapman still hasn't been able to take her position in that left centre role, and it looks like the trainer is calling that she is unavailable.
Maddock gets away from Elsie Albert, and ball goes to ground. It's gone backwards, and Brigginshaw will play it. Brigginshaw short side. This is Tegan Berry with the bring back, and now referee's blowing time off.
Yeah, Broncos 3, Jamie, independent doctors asked for...
Yeah, so she's going to go off for a head injury assessment, Chapman. Oh, friendly fire too. She makes good initial contact with Robinson, and then it's her own teammate that she just cops that point of her shoulder in the temple.
So Jamie Chapman off for a HIA. Referee, by the way, is Iggy Przeslaska-Adamski. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And coming on for Brisbane is Hannah Larson.
Tackle 1!
So just over 4 gone.
So that's 2 forced changes so far for the Bronx. Gould off, and Emma, I'm sure, will be getting the info on that for her. And Jamie Chapman, hopefully she can pass her head injury assessment and be back in 15 minutes.
So Wheeler will play it. That look to shade forward. Referee says fine. Keely Brown charging onto it. Fui Mayono, hands up, waiting for it. Flat pass away. And it's bent. You heard that, the last tackle. Back to the middle they go, and a wayward kick there by Fui Mayono. Broncos player in back play down. Keely Brown says play on. She had Elsie Albert with her, but couldn't get the arms free, and that'll be a turnover on the Brisbane 10.
Got to get set. Okay, play it now. Thanks, Sinead. Call, go.
Look at these hairdos, are very similar, Ruan.
Are you finding it hard?
There's a couple out there with identical haircuts. Good tackle, Elsie Albert. Now, how did you play when you were playing? Did you have the hair tucked up or in a bow, or
No,
did it get pulled very often?
Yeah,
Penalty, Brisbane.
But this is a relieving penalty here for the Broncos, and whatever you need to do, just get it out of your face. That's all I reckon.
The hair?
Yeah. As you see there, Holly Wheeler is sporting the old 80s style tape. Whatever you need to do, whatever you need to do.
Absolutely. It's not a fashion parade, that's for sure.
Here we are, one step, Holly Wheeler. Hold. Go one.
So, it's Chelsea Lenarduzzi, who had a storming game last weekend. Been around for a while. Very hard to stop is Lenarduzzi at full steam. As is this girl, Brianna Clark. Good quick play the ball. Numbers left side for Brisbane. Charging through there is Fognavini, Jasmine.
Good recovery. She was the one that was down in back play with the trainer in that last offensive set for the Broncos.
So where do they go on the last play here? Brigginshaw goes into the line, out the back to Maddock, handing it on there is Sazolka. She gives it on, and Julia Robinson will go in to score for Brisbane. Well, that's exactly where they'll go. They'll go in for the first 4-pointer of the match.
Well, we're going to watch this one back on the Harvey Norman replay, but they've been going to Brigginshaw for last tackle options to start this game. She reads it beautifully. It's a lovely pass out the back, and unfortunately there, the error in the defensive line by the Dragons is the centre shoots up and in on the fullback, but the winger doesn't go with her, and that's where that 2-on-1, Sazolka and Robinson, come up with the goods. So a nicely worked right side play by the Broncos. Alana.
Yeah, they got that wrong, the Dragons' defence. New combination out there, of course, between the half and the centre, but, geez, the Broncos look slick, don't they? They knew where they needed to run, which defender they needed to commit, and then just the service. We'll see it here. Ali Brigginshaw taking the line on first, footy out in front. That lead run was great, and then they do it with some polish. Julia Robinson goes over.
And Zolka there, gee, she did well. I mean, unselfish play, drew the defender in, straightened things up, and opened up the passageway for Julia Robinson to score the opening try of the match. Smiles all round at Amy Park for the Bronx. There's a couple of those similar hairdos, Ruan, that I'm talking about there.
I'll give you that. They are the same hairdo.
So the challenge for any commentator is to get them right. We'll do our darndest. Well, I will. You know these girls inside out. From the touchline, in or out?
Ooh, just out.
In your own time, just out, okay?
Just out.
I'm backing in. Ooh, it sounded good, but, well, we're both wrong. More than just out. 4-0.
Time to run here.
Four points to nil. Brisbane over the Dragons. The Broncos over the Dragons. Earlier on today, the Titans got the chocolates against the Eels, winning by 2 points for their first win of the NRLW season. And this is the, well, penultimate round. Next weekend, we have the big triple header at Central Coast Stadium. And later on tonight, of course, Melbourne Storm against Canberra Raiders. It's gone backwards, but it's been knocked on.
Where do you want the scrum, girls?
So not a great way to start your opening set after scoring points for Brisbane.
Yeah, we just saw Harry Grant in the stands watching on as well. At the moment, it's when they're doing these drop plays under, they're just a little too lateral. I'd like to see them square up into the line a little bit more, make it a sharper drop underneath there. I think that'll help their big running forwards get their eyes on the ball nice and early. But this is excellent field position for the Dragons. The ability to hit back almost immediately after points will be key for them.
Well, let's see if they can do that. Tonegado gives the ball to Paige McGregor, and unfortunately early in the count, they make it blue.
Yeah, it's a forward pass straight off there, and I think the Broncos thought that Tonegado was going to take it herself, but that one was at least half a metre forward.
Did you think?
It looked it.
Gee, I've seen
out of the hands.
Others let go. There is Coach Jamie Soward. Loves his soft drink, Sowie. Keep an eye on the sugar count too, Jamie.
Go the sugar-free option, Sally.
That one wasn't. So this is the try scorer, Julia Robinson. You were pointing out to me, Ruan, I think in that break earlier, that a couple of these girls with similar hairdos. Here's half a break have different coloured scrunchies, and that might be a good way to ID them.
Some of them do, some of them do. There's a yellow one there at the back. Some have a gold and black one, but it's all right, you'll get there, Chris.
My daughter went through a phase where she was collecting scrunchies, ordering them in from everywhere. Lenarduzzi straightens things up, takes 3 Dragons with her. Shaw explores the blind side. Lenarduzzi hands it on. Taryn Aitken with the kick. Back there is Andy Robinson. Back to the oncoming defenders, and they throw her into the dirt.
Flop and slow. You flop in, you got to get out.
Okay. You heard it there from Ziggy.
Pretty clear and concise, and Shaq Tungai has given away the penalty there, and they were slow to peel off, but they only bite off an extra 5 odd metres on the kick, the Dragons.
Reminder later on, the Storm and the Raiders. An elimination final. Don't often say that, do we, about the Storm? my world of sports. Brigginshaw up very quick on Elsie Albert. Gets the ball away, does well. Dragons have some numbers on the left side. Coming in to shut things down is Robinson. Tangled up there with McGregor in the technicoloured headgear. Amber Hall, one of the real strong Broncos forwards. She's been around for a while as well. Solid shot.
It was a well-placed kick by Pearson there. It bounced just, or it looked like it was about to go over the sideline there, but Maddock plays at it, and like you said, met by some decent defence by the Dragons. The opportunity now for the Dragons really to turn the heat up on the Broncos, because they're the ones that have had the bulk of possession so far.
Been busy, hasn't she, Julia Robinson? Here, there and everywhere. She'll play it now to Jada Ferguson. Brianna Clark not really able to get any speed up. Here's Leonard Dutzy. An offload. Ferguson. So where do we go? To the sky or through the hands? To Brigginshaw first, and she does go to the sky. Tonegado is back there. Good chase by Brisbane, though. McGregor hands it on to Keely Brown. Very good defensive centre, Keely. And this is Kezi. It's the first time I've called her name. I don't know if that's her first touch, Kezi Apps.
No, she's had a touch before, but the ball's been predominantly played on this western side of the field, so more strong defence from the Bronx.
McGrath West plays the ball then through Keely Davis. They hand it on through Pearson. I felt that.
First knock on here, St George. Second one, Brisbane.
Well, the space was wide, it was out there, but unfortunately the pass just got there a beat too late, and the Broncos' defence was really up in the face, and that forced that error there. Again, we watched this on shift. Fumaono.
Numbers, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It just needed to get to Brown a little quicker, and I reckon she would have found Robinson down that right flank. Good contact.
Shaq Tungai.
By Tungai.
No, thank you.
Head in, stay in. Great.
So Maddock working a play on that short side. Ends up with Taryn Aitken.
Marcus square. Hold, hold. Talia, get up. Keely.
Forward pass from Jada Ferguson to Brianna Clark. Now that was forward.
And there was a very early call from the touchy as well. He was in perfect position here, and now this opportunity for the Dragons. We've seen a lot of errors from both sides to start this game. I wonder if there just some nerves have crept into the way they're playing today, but they just really need to settle into their work, get through their sets, get to a good kick, start to build pressure through their defence, and just get into the grind. I want to see them get into the grind of the game, and that's where I think some of these errors will start to disappear.
Dragons sitting currently third on the ladder with 4 competition points. A win here will guarantee the Dragons a place in the top 4 in the finals.
You got to go to the side.
Penalty to the Red V. Right in the middle of the ground.
It was a close thing too, Chris, because it could have gone one way or the other. It was a very messy play, the ball there by McGregor, but they are very fortunate they get away with it as a penalty.
And the Broncos sitting 4th with 2 competition points. A loss for them would, well, they could find themselves outside of the top 4, and a must-win game for them, possibly next week against the Eels. So still a lot to play for, certainly in this match. McGrath West with it. 6-3 to stop her. Keely Davis gives it on, now with Pearson. Ball goes to ground. Lenarduzzi is there, but it's been knocked on against the Broncos. So the Dragons will get another set.
Okay, clock on. Where do you want the scrum, Dragons?
The Brisbane team on their own line.
Middle scrum, we're up here.
Big weekend next weekend. And a big night tonight as well. Storm and Raiders up next on Wide World of Sports from 5. There is the knock-on by Lenarduzzi.
The Dragons have chosen to go for a midfield scrum here, so look for Tonegado to slip around and find some space. There she is standing right behind the scrum there, so it'll be a last-minute decision.
Okay, let's see how this pans out. McGregor, they're up quick on her. Tackled by Larson. Davis gives it away. McGrath-West can see the goalpost padding. Bullet pass from Davis, short pass, and wayward ball from Rachel Pearson.
Where do you want the scrum, Brisbane?
Kezi Apps.
Week as well, so definitely took a lot out of the tank, but the Broncos are on the push here, and in a positive sign for the Broncos, Jamie Chapman is on the side, and it looks like she's passed her HIA and she'll be able to return to the field.
They're not afraid to use the ball in their own end, are they, Brisbane? We saw a sort of 4 or 5 pass shift there. Julia Robinson clutching her face as she played that ball. Trickle of blood coming out of the nose. Here's Jada Ferguson, good run down the short side, linking up now with Sisolka. McGregor brings her down. Last play then for Brisbane.
17, 16.
Not a bad kick in the end.
She just split them, didn't she?
Forcing Tonegado to go back for it.
This
And
is
as
a
a
real-
result,
Sorry, Chris, this is a really good position now for the Broncos to try and solidify some field position. Big defence here. Amber Hall coming across, throws everything at Tegan Berry.
working hard. They're struggling to get out of their own zone here, the Dragons. Now, about next weekend, it's about to get real as the NRL Women's Telstra Premiership season culminates in a triple header at Central Coast Stadium on Sunday, the 18th of September. Secure your seats now at nrl.com/tickets. Here's Kezi Apps. So last play for the Dragons. They sort of had a 3-on-2 on the short side, but elected to put the kick in, fielded by Maddock. Very lean, isn't she, Haley? Not a whole lot of her.
Like
But quick.
lightning, though.
Yeah.
She is lightning.
This Brisbane team, Ruan, they lost a couple of big players, didn't they, in the off-season?
Yeah, they did, Chris, with Tamika Upton and Millie Boyle heading down to the Knights. That
They were the two main.
did put a big hole in their roster.
Brigginshaw deep into the line, weighing up her options, and that wasn't what she had in mind. Robinson went back to clean it up. This is the last for Brisbane then. So Brigginshaw, well, didn't quite get all of that. It wasn't really a bomb, but almost a chip. Kezi Apps is there and driven back. Emma Lawrence, to you for an injury update.
Yeah, Jamie Chapman is back on the field after passing her HIA, but unfortunately for the Broncos, Lavinia Gould has a calf injury, so she will miss the rest of this game, Chris.
Thank you, Emma. Yeah, we weren't quite sure what that was, and I was thinking the worst in ACL, but a calf injury also can hit you like that when you don't even know it's coming. It's like you've been stabbed in the back with no one there. Another player down.
Holly Wheeler, who's been able to take her position in the Dragons this week after a shoulder injury last week. It looks like that right ankle is receiving some attention, but for Lavinia Gould, glad to hear that it's just a calf. Oh, yeah, that leg gets caught underneath. Is it Aneta Nuasala?
It is.
So I wonder if the referees will deem this to be a hip drop tackle or whether it's going to be play on.
Tackle there, tackle 4.
Play on it is.
Play on it is. So Wheeler will play it. 4-0 Broncos over Dragons. 12 and a half to play first half. Maddock is there to field the kick. Chase is good. McGregor ball and all. Do like that headgear.
Does catch the eye, Chris.
Did you ever sport the headgear?
Only when I split my head open.
Yeah, well.
2 rucks in a row. You've got to get out quicker.
Okay. Get out quicker. You heard that loud and clear from Ziggy. Well, that is good. I mean, the injury to Lavinia Gould, it's not good news. She's got a calf, but it's much better news than what we had feared. And depending on the severity of that, you know, it could be 2, could be 3 weeks. Might be okay if it's a grade 1 to come back next week.
Yeah, it just depends on the grading, as you said, and how much recovery they can get into her this week. So we'll wait to see what the reports are coming out of the Broncos camp. But this has been another player I've actually been really impressed with, is Sophie Holliman. Her coming into this Broncos outfit, she's brought really good leg speed for them. So been really impressed with her so far this year.
Nuasala. Jada Ferguson. This is Holliman. Around the ankles there was Keely Davis. Flat ball, Brigginshaw to Aiken. Bad pass in the end there by Amber Hall. Luckily, they got 6 more tackles. So the Dragons will do well to hold on here. Down the short side, Maddock and Amber Hall. She's really hard to stop from close range. Maddock deep.
I wonder what the last thought running through Rachel Pearson's head was when she saw Amber Hall running at her like that.
Yes. So here's Holliman. Kezzy Apps down low. Tonegado over the top. Harden. This is the lady we're talking about, Amber Hall. Ferguson keeps it alive. Aiken is there. She loses it, gone backwards and knocked on by Tungai.
A more good scramble from the Dragons out wide.
Walk on, middle scrum.
And there's been a bit of a change. Like, you called Kezzy Apps making that tackle just near this left upright. That's because Mona Lisa Soliola is on, and she's moved to that right second row position. She was the first point scorer and only try scorer for the Dragons last week against the Roosters. Big, hard running back rower. So she'll bring plenty of punch for them, and Kezzy will have to move to the middle and really starch up their middle third.
So the Dragons down by 4, and they are aiming for their first ever win against the Broncos. Dragons next weekend in that triple header that will bring you up against the unbeaten Newcastle Knights. That's next weekend from Central Coast Stadium. McGregor exploring the short side. Hayley Maddock is there to greet her. Davis, short side. Good aggressive driving defence by Brisbane. Oh, the ball's been spilled.
Oh, it's a penalty.
Page is injured. And a penalty to the Dragons here.
And some immediate concern being shown here for Paige McGregor, and a couple of the best in the business there, Pam Goodridge and Mick Baines on scene. Just watching this back on replay, it looks like she's just been tangled.
Well, it's a strip. That's what the penalty's for. Yeah, I was just trying to confirm what that was about. two in the tackle, you can't strip.
I'm just wondering whether she landed on the point of that left shoulder, and with the weight of two people on top of her, it might have...
Looking at Julia Robinson's right hand here, it's currently on the ball.
It's definitely a strip.
Yeah.
She strips the ball out now. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Oh, they challenged that. I didn't see that one.
I didn't either, but it was always pretty clear it was a strip, so if they had their challenge again, they'd maybe make a different decision. Still receiving some attention is Paige McGregor. Looks to be maybe a wrist injury.
Here it is. She's got her right arm around that ball. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. So she's got the arm around the ball, and when they land on her, she lands with her forearm perpendicular to the ground, and her wrist actually flipped underneath like that. So with two pretty strong players on top of you, I can imagine that would definitely hurt, as this gets a fair bit of treatment here.
We've done that before. I know exactly. I know what she's feeling.
I'm glad it just wasn't the other way, because then you start worrying about your scaphoid being injured or fractured in that position. So,
Dr. Sims.
Let's go. It's your
can you
penalty.
tell I've broken mine a few times?
Storm and Raiders, the elimination final tonight from 5 on 9, and then the qualifier. The Sharks and Cowboys from 7:30 p.m. on 9. Big night ahead as the Dragons look to mount some pressure. They really haven't had a lot of ball in good field position. McGrath West, this is with it now, gets a quick play the ball away. Quincy Dodd links up Kezzy Apps, loses the ball over her back, and Amber Hall is there to collect.
It was a good searching run by Kezzy, but the ball was just trapped on sort of the back of her right hip there, and in that contact she loses possession of it, but trying to make up for it with, that is a ripper tackle, right in the breadbasket.
A little bit flat-footed there, Brisbane in attack. There's an offload. Ferguson keeps play alive. And Sophie Hollyman will play it. Aiken with a bit of energy. Yeah, wanted to go again, did Jamie Chapman.
Tackle three, play it
The
there.
ruling tackle had already been completed.
Two ex-teammates there, squaring off, Jamie Chapman and Andy Robinson. They played Tasha Gale together down at the Sharks.
Yeah, quite a bit of player movement, hasn't there, in recent times, club to club. Julia Robinson again, like that ball and all by Paige McGregor, so that wrist looks to be okay. Oh dear, Tonegano, I thought it was getting away from it. That spiralling bomb there from Brigginshaw.
Tara McGrath-West doing her best to make herself as small as possible. Just watching that on replay, geez, that ball for Tonegano just looked like it was going to hit her on the chest, and then it just stopped floating towards her. She took it well.
A very even contest, as we probably expected. Broncos up. It's the one try. Davis linking up with an edge runner.
Well, the Dragons have made another change here on the 5th. Quincy Dodd has come on.
It's the last tackle, so that... Oh dear, well, luck's a fortune. I mean, they were looking so dishevelled in attack, the Dragons. They got an ugly-looking kick away, and it's turned into, well, they'll get another set of 6 because of the mistake from Hayley Maddock.
Yeah, she tries to take this one on the full, but she just couldn't. She needed one extra step, and she would have got there in time. But the interchange I was just talking about, bringing Quincy Dodd on, means that Keely Davis will move into that ball-playing lock position. You've got Kezzy Apps in the middle as well, so a pretty mobile but very strong pack. And watch out for Quincy Dodd with the footwork.
Okay. Quincy's got the 14 on her back. There she is at acting half. Tara McGrath-West, strong and hard towards the line. Brigginshaw around the ankles. Quick play the ball as well. There's Dodd, and here's Kezzy Apps against the grain. Kezi's gone very close. She's gone closer than I thought. Kezi Apps has gone in to score the Dragons' first of the afternoon.
Well, she got up smiling, didn't she, Chris? And why wouldn't you? It was a great run. Turns back against the grain. And we're going to watch here on the Harvey Norman replay. It's Quincy Dodd. I told you, you've got to watch out for her footwork close to the line, and the Broncos would have known that she likes to scoot out when she gets close to the line and try and burrow over herself. But this is lovely. She steps out, she engages that A defender and the second marker and brings back Kezi Apps on her inside, who does really, really well. There was some significant scrutiny defensively on her, but she just charges over the line. And this is a really great captain's try here for Kezi Apps, and Hayley Maddock did her best underneath, but just too big, too strong.
She's a wonderful player and has been for a long time, Kezi Apps. Great person as well. And you're right when you point out that smile of hers, Dally M Female Player of the Year, right in front, no mistake. There is the try scorer, Kezi Apps. A Bega Roosters junior and played in the same Bega Roosters junior team as Dale Finucane, who will be in action tonight.
New South Wales captain as well. State of Origin, winning State of Origin captain this year.
Stay on side.
She's been a wonderful servant of the game for a long time.
Success seems to follow her, as it did with you. I mean, part of that West Tigers Harvey Norman winning team this year as well, Kezi. Yes, she is. Strong.
Geez, McGrath West has been good for the Dragons. Every time they get her the ball, she's making a few extra metres, some post-contact metres as well. She finds her front. Here they go, look at this. They were over halfway already, and it's only tackle 3, Chris.
Charlie Bent. Making good metres, aren't they? Keely Davis gives it on. Heavy tackle. Numbers lined out to the right, but they come back to the, I was going to say left, but through the centre is Quincy Dodd. You're right, you've got to keep an eye on this one. So Hopkins, the left foot kick. Oh, and she's taken that into touch, has Julia Robinson, really the only blemish on her afternoon so far. She took it in the air and came down with her right foot on the touchline.
Well, it was a beautifully weighted kick by Zali there. She puts it up in the air, gives it plenty of time for a winger to get in and contest the ball. Robinson took it in such a beautiful fashion, but then as she landed, that right foot was just on the touchline. You saw her hop back off it. Say, no, you didn't see it. It was in, it was fine.
Oh, we did. So here's McGrath West again. You're right, she has been busy. Quincy Dodd is exploring her options. Push in. Tonegado coming back to the middle, looking for a hole, nothing doing. Dodd goes herself, Quincy's over, set the other one up. This time she splits them herself, and Quincy Dodd goes in to score the Dragons' second.
Well, Chris, you're not wrong. You said you've got to keep an eye on it, and you absolutely have to. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, Quincy Dodd, this is what she does so beautifully when there's tired defence in front. She can really just look one way, shift through. She's got lovely little footwork, gets over for the 4 points.
So right in front now, Rachel Pearson. Oh, it did enough to raise the flags, and the Dragons, there she is, the try scorer, Quincy Dodd. And she has had a very big hand in both of the Dragons' tries, setting up Kezzy Apps for the first and then grabbing one for her own. 12 points to 4.
Yeah, Chris, this is what she does so beautifully. When there's tired defence through the middle, they bring her on. They push Keely Davis to that lock playing role. And when they play footy together, that's when the middle starts to really open up for them. They dummy to each other and shoot off behind that ruck. Or when there's times like this, they find the try line so easily. And like I said, this is what she does. Every level she plays at, she does it at Origin too. She's a real talent, Quincy Dodd.
As I've said before, they're chasing their first ever victory against the Broncos. And a win for the Red V. Not that we're banking it yet, but a win for the Dragons guarantees them a place in the top 4 for the semi-finals, which will be in a fortnight's time, the final round of the competition, as Kezzy Apps just stampedes her way through over Hollyman. Final round next weekend. The top 4 go through. There's Davis, first receiver. McGrath West. So here's Ali Hopkins, decides to take them on. And no way through. So the Broncos, they led 4 points to 0, opening the scoring through Julia Robinson. And then the Dragons have hit right back, scoring first through Kezzy Apps and then through Quincy Dodd. The score at half-time, Dragons 12, Broncos 4. But the Green Machine, they may well have other plans. Ali Brigginshaw with the short restart for the second half. A mistake from the Dragons, and it's with Sophie Hollyman. Oh, a dream start for Brisbane.
It certainly was. We saw this in the earlier game. The Eels came up with something very similar. They got possession almost immediately, but weren't able to capitalise. You can't gift the Broncos such good possession like this.
Opportunity here. Aiken will play it then to Maddock. Amber Hall goes deep into the line, takes 2 with her. Still going is Amber Hall. Jada Ferguson, deep to Brigginshaw. Fognavini straightens up. Shaylee Benton is there. They keep pressing that short side. Brigginshaw holds it up for a fullback, Maddock, but defence come across in numbers.
Easy there. Tackle 6, change.
Geez, I like that play on last. I always like to see them run on last, but that was a really beautiful pass. She just floats it up in the air, and Maddock ran onto it with speed. But again, I spoke earlier in the game about the scramble D of the Dragons. It really held up under that scrutiny.
Real subtle play, wasn't it, from Ali? And you know, Maddock with speed, but a bigger body might well have got through there close to the line. 12-4. Big night, elimination final. The Storm and the Raiders, all from 5 o'clock on 9, and then the qualifier, the Sharks and Cowboys from 7:30 p.m. on the wide world of sports.
Karen, get square.
Busy McGrath West, Tara with it, offload as well, and not expecting it there. Is that Kezzy?
No, I think she saw it coming and then was thinking about what she was going to do after she caught it there. Her eyes lit up when McGrath West, who, as I mentioned, just as they were running on, was so strong in that first half for them. And she will be disappointed with herself, Kezzy, because she expects the best. And now, watch her come up with some really strong defensive plays to make up for it. This is this play that I was talking about. Look at the way that ball is just floated up.
A lot of touch football in that.
Oh, I love that play. It looks good.
So Aiken fed the scrum, then dropped back on the short side. She's through, Maddock. Maddock is through. Oh, Aiken, Maddock. She fed the scrum, then drifted back to the short side. Sizolka in at acting half. Straightening things here is Hollyman. Standing to the ground by McGrath West. That's Aiken there, and Amber Hall. Got the arms free and got it to Chapman. Chapman's out of one. Still going is Chapman. Hard to stop. Nuasala is over the line, but 5 in the tackle, keeper from putting it down. So
What about
she'll
that
go
lead
back
up?
to the 10-metre line. So
Oh, Chris, what about that lead-up run by Chapman? She just, no one can put her down. She's so strong in contact.
deceptively strong, isn't she? Hat-trick last week. Here's Aiken now, decides to. Keely Davis brings her down. This is the last. Lenarduzzi decides to kick. The weight is not bad, but a little bit too heavy. And rolls over the dead ball line. Dragons back to the 20 for a set restart. Fair play, let them go. It's the benefit of getting back to your own 20 quickly. Referees would often bring that back, but these days they're allowing play to continue.
And that means tackle 1. They're 5, well, they're just about on halfway now. And McGrath West, she'll make an extra few metres for them.
So Zali Hopkins started the match at 5/8, right?
Yes.
For the Dragons on debut. This is Soliola, Mona Lisa Soliola. Player down, looks like Lenarduzzi getting to her feet slowly. Here's a break through the middle. Quincy Dodd again.
Come out forward.
Forward pass.
Just popped out forward there, but again, this is what Quincy Dodd does so well. She spots a little gap, has the defence backpedaling, and when her and Keely Davis run in a pair shaped like that, it really creates a lot of discomfort for the defensive line.
Gee,
And this is
that's
what
clever.
I love seeing when you run inside outside shoulder on a defender, because you force a defender to make a decision, and whichever decision they make, you have got the solution in your hands. If you dummy and go out wide, the defence goes for the person out wide, you go yourself. If you look like they're going to come at you, you throw to the person outside you and they make extra metres. So, yeah, really good football there for the Dragons, and good to see that Maddox back on her feet too.
A lot of touch football in Hayley Maddox. You can see it in the play as well. The first part of that play by Quincy Dodd, though, was spotting that the Broncos only had the one marker, and it was one of the less agile forwards, and went bang straight through the middle. Good vision. Spreading it wide early, Brisbane. Here's a break now. Sizolka's through. Gets around one. Still going, Sizolka. And coming across to chop her down was Zali Hopkins. They're on a roll here, though, Brisbane. Robinson now. Jada Ferguson. Amber Hall lurking wide. Big and strong, and she's brought down. Still going on the short side. Aiken goes to the line and gives it late. Dragons are on the ropes here. Aiken again, a little dribbling kick. It's in the in goal, and again too heavy. It's not been touched by a Dragons player, so it will come back for a restart on the 20.
It was a beautifully spotted kick by Aiken, but equally up to the task was Tonegado. The ball did dribble long, but it could have been played at by someone who was going to pull the trigger a little sooner. So for Tonegado to have that confidence and patience, that's epic football. Alana?
Yeah, I thought that was a much better set from the Broncos, and I think that's the way that they need to play this game. Bring in their running game, play both sides of the ruck to stretch those defenders out. We saw Sizolka make a break on that right edge, and then Taryn Aiken really attacking the right edge defence of the Dragons. This penalty is not going to help the Broncos. It's going to be a huge defensive effort. The Dragons, they're on the front foot.
Thank you, Alana. Here they are as we have a look at this replay. Just a touch high there. So a fresh set of 6 to play with here for the Dragons. Down, up by 8 points. Soliola. Wheeler, good shot on her. You can hear that through the effects mic. Oh, well picked up there by Zali Hopkins. But in the end, they lose possession again. So unable to build any sustained pressure. That seems to be the problem for the Bronx. Tackles and Holly giving away quite a bit of size. So kicking on the fourth. Back to the defenders. It's over the head of the Dragons winger. Links up with Tonegato.
It's a smart kick from the Bronx on 4 there as well, because they turn Tegan Berry around and then she's looking into the sun to try and find possession there as we see the Raiders arriving at Amy Park. But at the moment, it's the Dragons just trying to work their way out of their own half. Tonegato with a second touch for the set.
A very big day at Amy Park. Another big one coming your way tonight. The Storm against the Raiders from 5-on-9, and then the qualifier later on. The Sharkies and the Cowboys from 7:30. Kick's going to be a little bit too heavy, so the Broncos will bring it back for a restart on their own 20.
Broncos.
Just been a few little errors that have crept in. Again, Chris, just a few kicks going long, some passes that didn't need to be thrown. I think both coaches will really want to see their Chargers tighten that up, minimise their errors. At the moment, the Dragons are sitting at 9 and the Bronx at 6. The weight of possessions to start this half has definitely been with the Broncos.
25 minutes remaining. Brigginshaw on the short side, looks for support. She has Sazolka in a pocket. Sazolka with a left foot dribble, a regather, a wonderful play. Shanae Sazolka, lovely work on the short side too by Ali Brigginshaw, and the Broncos go in. They're right back in the ball game.
Well, hasn't she started this second half off with the bang, Chris? Shanae Sazolka, earlier in the half, she'd made an excellent break, which led to some almost Matic getting over the try line. But this is a huge couple of efforts here. Look at the offload on the Harvey Norman replay. Ali Brigginshaw just pops that around the corner and behind her back. But the work of Sazolka, this head-on, this view, will give you exactly what the defence is seeing. Look at this. She sums it up beautifully, pops it on the left foot, and it sits up. Plum bounce there for Shanae Sazolka. Alana.
Yeah, that was some good footy, wasn't it? And Ali Brigginshaw starting that off, taking the line on. I love the fact that she had the footy in 2 hands. We saw the big palm get out of my way, and then a lovely little offload out of the right side. But Sazolka, the class to be able to just drop it onto a toe like that. Grubber kicks can be so effective in those instances. They're a kick that you practice and you understand when the bounce is going to come back up. So she's done brilliantly there to execute. Great work from the Broncos. They're in the game.
Yeah, that they are. Thank you, Alana. It was just wonderful what she did there. The control she had, and you girls know, I mean, at speed, trying to keep that ball controlled the way she did there. Just remarkable. I think I saw Kyle Felt do it last weekend from memory, a very similar thing. Well, that's way wide. Score remains 12-8. So the Broncos get themselves right back into the contest here in this one at Amy Park, down 12 points to 8 against the Dragons. If you are just joining us, the Broncos led 4-0. The Dragons then went bang bang to lead 12-4 at the break. And that was an exquisite piece of play there by Shanae Sizolka down the short side in combination with the veteran Ali Brigginshaw. And Ruan Sims, it is game on.
It certainly is, and excuse me, unfortunately for the Broncos, they weren't able to actually convert those 2 tries. They were both out wide, and Brianna Clark wasn't able to add the extras. That the way they've been playing, as Elsie Albert comes up with some really good contact. They've had the bulk of possession to start this half, and they've completed at 100% so far in this half of football. So they want to continue that pressure on the Dragons. Meanwhile, the Dragons have only completed 2 of 6.
You know what? If I'm one-on-one and I'm carting the ball up, the one player I think I'd like to avoid most, that's only an average kick. Being touched though. Broncos play on, kicked again. Soccer stuff here, but Jada Ferguson couldn't quite regather. At the 3rd attempt, the one player I wouldn't run at, I think, would be Elsie Albert. Thank you very much. Here is Paige McGregor.
She's a very strong defender, Elsie Albert, and just as hard with the ball in hand.
Oh, a little bit of afters there from Amber Hall.
Jasmine, release!
Brown. Leaves the ball to Dodd, and Dodd gives it away to Hopkins, who drops it on the boot. Over the head of Hayley Maddock, forced to go back into her own in goal.
Good chase by Berry, led the charge.
Is that a chopper overhead?
Sounds like it.
Still the defensive line. Oh, there's a strip there, one-on-one strip by Zali Hopkins, but
6 more.
well, Ziggy said no, give it back to her. Here's a Sizolka again, isn't she good to watch? Brigginshaw now in support.
Good cover tackle by Tonagato.
Jada Ferguson, if unsure, just go forward. Harden hands on, this is Amber Hall. Take more than one to stop her. Lost 15 metres, Lenarduzzi cleans up. Gets the ball back to where it was passed from. This is the last.
That's good.
Oh! And dragged it in at the last minute.
It was a big chase by Chapman. She was putting her under a heap of pressure. Chapman on Tonagato, followed up by more big contact through the middle there on Keely Brown. There's Brianna Clark over the top.
2 metres by Tegan Berry. Lenarduzzi's trying to rip the Steeden out of her grasp. Elsie Albert, good tackle low. Good metres though, juggling their way downfield, the Dragons.
She made half of them in reverse.
This is the last route. Where do we go? Through the middle, says Keely Davis, grub a kick. Brigginshaw's back there. Stopped there by Wheeler, who I thought had one of the locks in her hand there. Locks of hair.
Right here, Andy, call him back.
I was going to say, like,
Accidental.
she's the lock. She's the lock.
I meant, you know, the ponytail.
Geez, I'm wondering with that sun just going down whether looks like it's starting to get a little bit slippery underfoot there at Amy Park.
The chopper again as the Broncos are on the attack. Maddock will play the ball. Take a look. Brown. Doubling it up there from first marker Keely. Ferguson goes left. Aiken spots something. And that'll be the last tackle, so it'll be a turnover. Not the result they're after, really, the Broncos. They, I'm sure, would have probably preferred to maybe put one in goal.
Yeah, and I think Coach Calvin Wright would have wanted to see them attack on that last. They're down by 4 points. They're not defending a lead. So I think I would have liked to have seen an attacking option in that last play there. But ultimately, if they can defend where they finish, it can end up being a good set of 6.
Jasmine Fognavini, ball and all tackle there on Keely Brown. Dragons keep going open side. Tonegado gives it on to Hopkins, but almost bear hugged there by Lenarduzzi, who's appealing to the referee. Play-on's the call. Had numbers short side there, but a bad pass from Bent, and the Broncos back with possession. They're down by 4, still very much in this game. Can you smell something brewing here?
Yeah, I can, Chris. I think this, especially this right edge, that's where they've made the bulk of their bends and breaks in the defensive line of the Dragons. So while Taranaki hasn't seen as much possession this afternoon, I think the right side is where they're really making their meal today.
Amber Hall's making good meters through the middle. Wrapped up by Elsie Albert. Two very strong women there. Moving off the mark, surely. Jada Ferguson, short side showing and going. Brigginshaw weaving and getting out of 2 and losing the ball. The good work undone.
Well, good pressure by Quincy Dodd from the inside there as Ali Brigginshaw just smacks herself on the head and says, I know that I could have done better. And she saw something open up. It was just as she had that ball in the right claw there, it just got knocked by Quincy Dodd. So the opportunities are there. She's creating opportunities, but she knows that she just let that one slide there, Ali. And watch out, because she'll come down with an even bigger game plan next set of 6.
I see deadly choices on the jersey there of the Broncos, and Broncos legend Steve Renoff is an ambassador for deadly choices.
Pearl is an excellent voice for them.
Kessie Apps gets a quick play, the ball away. Quincy Dodd making good meters down through the middle, as she seems to be making a habit of. Lazy markers beware. Brown. Good shot on her. Oh, is that the 3? It was
Jamie Chapman. Oh!
Challenge.
Lenarduzzi hits Keely Davis with everything and the kitchen sink here. I think this one may be under some bigger scrutiny.
Took my eyes off
She
it.
bounced up. She wrong-footed Lenarduzzi, and that lazy left arm just flung out. And
Tell you what.
That's
I tell you
definitely
what.
a penalty.
Yeah, well, I think it might be more than that, Roo.
well, the referee has called time off, and he's about to have a chat. So
I would not be
I think
surprised.
Ali will jump in and listen to what he has to say.
One-on-one tackle, contact with their head. It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say I would not be surprised if she is sent from the field. And so Chelsea Lenarduzzi has been put in the bin for 10. A lazy left swinging arm on Keely Davis.
When she comes back onto the pitch, she'll come back on with just under 5 minutes left for the Bronx.
Well, this is going to make it extremely difficult for them.
Back to us, home.
Down to 12, the Broncos down by 4 with about 15 to play. Another try here for the Red V, you would think might put the result beyond reach for Brisbane. Hopkins lurking wide. And this is Shaylee bent over literally by Brigginshaw. Close and hard from there. Elsie Albert's through. Elsie Albert unstoppable from close range. And the Dragons extend their lead.
Well, Chris, earlier you spoke about you wouldn't want to be tackled by Elsie Albert, but look at the way she runs this ball. She's hard, strong, head down, straight to the line. Here we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, lovely service by Keely Davis. Hits that outside runner nice and flat. She's got plenty of Broncos players around her, but she holds her feet, shows huge strength in the upper body. 4-pointer.
So LCL with the try scorer, and as Ruan Sims was quite correctly pointing out there, from close range, she is just so difficult to stop.
But look at this one, Chris. The setup shape here, this is the old rhino shape where you set up 2 forwards. Your outside forward or your forward furthest away from the ball is slightly ahead. The one closest to the ball is slightly deeper. You've got 2 good options there. You're running again, inside, outside shoulder of a defender, and you can pick up either one. And that was just pure strength by Elsie Albert, pure strength.
16 points to 8. This to give the Dragons a 10-point buffer. 10 points it is. That try by Elsie Albert could well have sealed this match with, what do we got, just under 13 minutes to play, 18 points to 8. So the Broncos now needing to score twice. They are down, I was going to say down a man, down a player, with Chelsea Lenarduzzi put in the bin for a high shot. So down to 12, and a big mountain to climb now.
Yeah, Lenarduzzi's usually pretty much in that position where they scored that try. So the Dragons really making the most out of having that player extra. And Holly Wheeler, she gets through some work for the Dragons.
Here's the try scorer again, Elsie Albert, just steamrolling them. Don't laugh, Roo.
I love it so much.
Dodd gives it on. So too does Wheeler.
I think I love it more because I'm not out there.
Why do we laugh at others' misfortune?
It's not misfortune. I just
being
love
steamrolled.
in the middle.
They get to their kick. Oh, shadow there, I thought, by tongue guy, but pulls it in. Chapman.
I'm laughing in admiration.
I know you are. No, there's no malice involved. It's just good run by Robinson. Well, you know, you hung your boots up some time ago. You know what these women go through.
Certainly do.
You've been there, you've done that. And I'm glad you're not out there. 3-pass shift ends up with Hayley Maddock. Really lean, isn't she? But very quick. Aiken then with the kick. No dramas for Tonegado. Haven't really seen her open up, Tonegado, Emma, in open space yet. But she's just a pleasure to watch. Here's McGregor.
So Albert's just left the field and McGrath West has come back on.
Done her damage.
Yeah, she'll finish off this game for them, I imagine. But the Dragons, they've still got three interchanges left for the last 10.5 minutes.
Dodd looks up, finds Wheeler on the left. Amber Hall down low. Hooker to hooker. Davis now playing in a roving forward position. Dodd draws the marker. Here's Hopkins down the short side. McGregor hands on, but just fumbled over there on the left edge by Tegan Berry.
Yeah, there was just overrun there on that left edge. It was definitely on, and some little tip-on passing there by McGregor. This will give you a good view. I reckon what's happened here is she's tipped that on, and look at the sun straight into Tegan Berry's eyes as she's trying to figure out where she needs to position herself here. But an opportunity now for the Broncos, down one player, still for another 4.5 minutes. They need to get themselves into good field position and capitalise on it.
Well, they need to score, and they need to score quickly. They've still got time. I mean, down by 10 with just under 10 to play. Here is Jamie Chapman into open pastures, away from one. A right foot step. Tonegado coming across in cover. She won't get there. Chapman will. The Broncos haven't given up yet.
Jamie Chapman, this is what she could do. We spoke in the first half, Chris, just about how strong she is in contact. But in the Harvey Norman replay, we're going to see just how quick she is. It's a long shift, right to left. And then they get her early ball. She drops someone under and then shrugs off her opposition in Keely Brown and just pushes away from them. Look at her striding.
Yeah.
She has such a long stride. And she's deceptive because her strides are so long, she doesn't look that quick. But then you pace her next to the likes of Emma Tonegado and you see just how much speed Chapman's got. 3 tries last week for the Broncos and another one that potentially for the Broncos gets them back into this game. Alana.
Yeah, how good is Chapo? She's dead set got legs up to her armpits, but it all started off with that strength and power to be able to make that tackle break and then go on with it with her speed. But Billy Slater's on the sideline now, marvelling over the women's game, but that impressed him, and that's a huge compliment coming from Billy.
I don't know what I'm more impressed about, her strength and speed or the fact that she did it with one of her shoelaces just dangling in the breeze. One of them was completely undone. How she didn't trip over it, I don't know.
She is an absolute pleasure to watch. She is an athlete, a born athlete, and this long stride.
Look at her go.
Legs up to her armpits, as Alana was pointing out. The conversion attempt is no good, waved away. But ladies and gentlemen, again, we have got a ball game on our hands. The Broncos now down by 6 with about 7.5 to play. Now, a blockbuster Saturday night of finals footy is just around the corner. From 5 p.m, the Storm host the Raiders in do-or-die finals footy. And then we're heading to the Shire with the Sharks going head-to-head with the Cowboys. It's all here on your home of NRL finals footy, Nine's wide world of sports. Well, another grandstand finish. We're getting our money's worth here.
We certainly are. Look, the Broncos have had the best of the possession. They're running for more metres average per set. They're completing really well, but they just have that player down disadvantage has really hurt them. There's still another, just on 2.5 minutes.
Well, here's Amber Hall. I forgot they were down a player.
So to score that try whilst having one less on the field is excellent for the Bronx, but they do need to tighten things up a little bit.
Here's Nuasala. 7 minutes to play. A win secures the Dragons a place in the finals. A loss for the Broncos, and, well, it will go down to the final weekend. The triple header at Central Coast Stadium next weekend.
It'll be a good day of footy.
You'll be up there?
I sure will.
Might join you.
Try and keep me away.
Well, there's the sunlight there, and taking almost an off break. The kick from Brigginshaw finds the line. I think they probably would have preferred maybe to keep the ball in play.
I think they would have. It'll be a Dragons ball here. But it does eat up a little bit of time for them, though, until they get Lenarduzzi back on the field.
Shaylee Bent's got a bandage around the chin. Where's Lenarduzzi?
Here she is, pacing the sideline, getting ready.
McGrath West.
She's got about 60 seconds, I think, before she can rejoin the fray.
And that'll give them about 5 minutes to get themselves out of jail. Here's Kezzy Apps. Well, she's hurt. That's a shoulder or forearm injury. Apps is down. Wheeler carries on.
And there we go. We've got the clock there counting down. 35 seconds. She's in agony.
Yeah.
They're going her side too.
Might be a shoulder. Pearson into the line. Dodd spots short side opportunity. Kick is put through. Keely Brown coming fast. Back there is Maddock. Dragons force a goal line dropout.
Well, the way Maddock picked that up, it looked like she was going to try and counter-attack out of her own in-goal area, but Andy Robinson does really well. Here's that contact that we spoke about with Kezzy Apps. Looks like when she got tackled, it's just jammed up in that shoulder capsule. So
yeah,
I'm sure Emma will definitely keep us in the loop if anything happens. As Lenarduzzi, here she comes.
The dropout taken by Pearson. This is Wheeler. Lenarduzzi back, so back to 13 on 13. 4.5 to play. Broncos down by 6 and still very much in it. Bent then will play it under the tackle of Brigginshaw. McGrath-West, not sure she was the go-to player on that occasion. 2 plays left. Dodd looking. Dodd decides to go herself, looking for number 2, but no way through. So this will be the last play. Pearson standing deep. There she is. Out the back, Tonegata, grubber kick, threads the needle. Tungai is back there and boots the ball dead. The Dragons get another goal line dropout coming their way.
Well, this is really good pressure from the Dragons. The last couple of kicks they've had, they're not trying to score off every play. They're not trying to score off every last tackle option. They're just continuing that pressure on the Broncos. So we'll see what they come back with. This looks like a short kick-off here.
Taken by Pearson, and she is met heavily by Jamie Chapman. It's Kezzy out, so she's okay. That shoulder injury is... she's carrying it. Wheeler will play it to Dodd. Davis gives it on, and up there very quickly was Brigginshaw trying to steal the pill from Zali Hopkins. Dummy half run by Davis. Ball goes to ground, play on, gone backwards.
I'd like to see a little bit more depth out of the Dragons' attack at the moment, especially this close to the line. Good run by Apps. This looks better on both sides are a little bit deeper.
Long ball from Dodd. Hopkins puts a left foot kick in. It's been allowed to bounce. That can prove very dangerous, as Gus might say. Let a ball bounce. You're inviting disappointment into your life.
That lives rent-free in my head.
I like that.
Unashamedly.
Yeah. So the Broncos still down by 6. 2 minutes to play. This is Amber Hall going strong. Still. Keeping it alive, Lenarduzzi, forearms, one out of the way, offloads as well. Here is the 14 now, Jada Ferguson.
Well, Maddox screaming for a quick play the ball. She wants to keep on the push.
Didn't quite get it. Brigginshaw, right side, Sizolka, don't argue.
Gee, she's been good today, Sizolka.
Agree. Ulasala. Holding on is McGrath-West. Jada Ferguson picks it up. This is Brigginshaw. There's a hole. Brigginshaw's in. Ali Brigginshaw is there to save the day. The Broncos get another one. A kick to come from right in front could level things in a moment.
Oh, take a bow, the forwards for the Broncos. It was great lead-up play. Lenarduzzi with an offload, Nuasala with a nice run and a quick play the ball, but it was Brigginshaw. The ball's been going to her on the Harvey Norman replay. The ball has been going to her on the right-hand side. This time she flips, she jumps on the left, and then the middle there for the Dragons, they're just at 6s and 7s. They're not quite pushing up together. A couple have sat back in the chair, a couple have tried to get in her face, but this is going to be a really good angle. The footwork, she's got that big left foot step, and she powers on. She was never going to pass it. She tucks it up and under, hits and spins really well. Here we go, Ali Brigginshaw with the 4-pointer. Hopefully makes it 6, Alana.
Yeah, huge play from such a key player in the Broncos. She's been playing really well today, taking the line on, and I think that's what we saw from not only a fractured Dragons defensive line, but just hanging off her that little bit. She's done really well for not only herself, but for her team. They could level it here, the Broncos.
Taryn Aiken from right in front. Oh, it's wobbly, but it raises the flags. And we are all square with just under a minute to play.
Oh.
I told you it'd be a grandstand finish, Ru.
You certainly did, and we are not disappointed. This is excellent work from the Broncos. They marched downfield off the back of some great work through their forwards. But it was Brigginshaw with a bit of brilliance right at the end there. Came up with the 4 points. And we haven't seen her kick for goal today. So I'm wondering, last week she stopped kicking for goal. She was having a bit of a quad injury. I'm wondering if that's the case today, because I tell you what, she didn't look like she had a sore quad in that run.
All. Okay, 42 seconds to be exact. 18 all. And it looks like we're going into golden point extra time unless one of these two can break the deadlock in the next 30 seconds. Broncos on the attack. Charging forward is Amber Hall. Pushing Wheeler out of the way. Long way to go, but these are really good strides through the middle. Looking for a quick play the ball. Doesn't quite get it. Now with Aiken. Inside ball. Leonard Ducey. Kezzy Apps holding on.
Where's Brigginshaw?
Last play, they need the one-pointer. Here is Ali Brigginshaw. From 30 out, it's got the length. It hasn't got the height nor direction. Dribbles over the dead ball line. And we're going to golden point.
First in NRLW history, Chris. First ever golden point in NRLW history between the Dragons and the Broncos.
Well,
Look, the Dragons have never beaten the Broncos historically, so this is an excellent finish. It was set up by the try from that woman on screen there, Brigginshaw. She just shifts that ball to the right of the right upright there for the one-pointer.
oh, look at
But
the
golden
looks.
point, how exciting. You wanted a grandstand finish, we got you a grandstand finish.
Ali was watching it all the way from the boot. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Right down to the wire. My goodness, that was just unbelievable by Brisbane. The ease with which they made yards through the middle. They had to go all of 80 metres or 90 to get there. Gave Ali the shot.
Ali, toss, call.
Here is
call.
the toss then.
Call. No, call. Call.
Kezzy Apps, Ali Brigginshaw.
So you win the toss, what do you do?
Third time lucky.
It landed like that, so it was probably on the side.
Must have been.
Which way do you want to run?
That would be the downside of doing a toss on grass.
Do you think they're stringing this out so they can just
You want to
get
go up that end and you
I
want
would.
to run
extra
this way?
break?
So
I
you're
would.
going to kick
Extra
off going that
oxygen.
way. Broncos kicking off.
All
Thank
right,
you.
the Broncos are going to kick off,
I still don't know who won the
heading
toss.
into the wind. So that means they're going to defend first. They'll give the Dragons first possession, or the Dragons will have first possession.
So tell me, so Ali's the go-to kicker
Ali,
for
Aiken,
Brisbane. What about for
Aiken as well.
and Dragons? Who's their
Dragons, I'd
sharpshooter?
be looking at Rachel Pearson on screen that you see right there. Even Keely Davis.
There's the coach, the super coach.
No soft drink in sight.
He's probably got about 10 of them in the bin below the desk there, Jamie. As I said, does love his soft drink.
And he's the Broncos Brains Trust.
So, who wins this, Ruan Sims?
Well, I tipped the Broncos coming into it, but I've been so
Yeah, you're allowed
impressed
to
with the
change.
way.
You're allowed to change if you want.
I know, but it's already written in ink. I don't feel like I can change.
Staying with Bronx.
I've been impressed with the way the Dragons turned up today, though, especially considering they had a short turnaround last week and lost the second half. For them to turn up and play the way we've seen today, I think is really impressive, but I'm tipping the Bronx to go through with it.
I think you might be right. I was a little bit concerned with how the Broncos finished that last set that we just saw. I mean, that was just powerhouse stuff through the middle. But now it's a whole new ball game. Here's a mistake by the Dragons, a mistake made by McGrath West. It's high fives all round for Brisbane.
Okay, Chris,
Yeah, you got to challenge it.
coming to tackle one. We've got an on-field ruling of lost ball. Dragons challenging.
I hope for McGrath West's sake it's not a knock-on. She's run for over 200 metres for them. She's been so strong. There's a hand on the ball here. That's a strip.
Yeah, that's a strip.
With 2 in the tackle, she strips at the ball,
Good challenge.
which is a penalty. The challenge is successful.
Successful.
The challenge
Penalties here.
successful. 4 tries to 3. They're leading. The Broncos leading the Dragons in that department. 4 tries to 3, but all locked up at 18 apiece.
And the Dragons still have a couple of interchanges up their sleeve as well if they need any fresh legs out there. We saw Elsie Albert. She'd definitely bring a power game for you.
Those maybe just tuning in, watching their first NRLW game, Golden Point. First to score wins the match. Game over. Whoever scores the first point. Here's a very good run by Kezzy Apps. She leaves a trail of destruction in her wake. Bra West.
They're set up brilliantly here, Chris. They're 28 metres out, just to the left of the left upright.
Dodd dummy half. Davis takes a settler. They're
Pearson's
looking for the
behind.
one-pointer. Here it comes, I think. There it goes from Pearson.
I'm changing it.
It's there. The Dragons have won. The one-pointer in Golden Point by Rachel Pearson. Good delivery there from a dummy half. And Pearson nails the assignment. The Dragons defeat the Broncos for the very first time. 19 points to 18, the full-time score.
What a wonderful finish. What a wonderful opportunity for these women to showcase first ever Golden Point game in NRLW history. It's the first time the Dragons have kicked and won by a field goal in NRLW history. And Rachel Pearson, she's the one I earmarked they'd be going to first. Kezzy Apps set it up with a brilliant run down that right edge, followed it up with a nice little setup and a good settler by Keely Davis. The delivery out the back by Quincy Dodd was on song. And while the Broncos had the run of that second half, it was the Dragons who really came away with such a good win in a nail-biting finish.